Hello everyone and welcome back to DG Vanguard's coverage of the Birmingham VGCS. So we've gotten to the point where we've gotten to top 8, we've done our 5 rounds of Swiss, and we should see some good games now. This one is, I believe, it's between Luck of the Asian Harem and Chen of the Mahuteaux Family.
And then on the right, we will be having Gears, and on the left, we will be having Link Joker.
Yeah, so it should be.
How would you? Before the match starts, who do you think will have the upper hand in this particular matchup?
Gears, because getting an extra turn and unlocking all your stuff kills Chaos, and Chaos cannot kill Gears fast enough.
Yeah, and we will see how that plays out.
Yeah.
My prediction I would say about the same thing, but knowing that this is top 8, so I'm giving the Chaos the betterment of the doubt. And so let us begin.
I think I should come off with this saying the Mahuteaux family went XO in Swiss, so they were undefeated in Swiss, which obviously gave them first seed in top 8. So this is a really scary team to face. But yeah, so we're just gonna see them get their decks ready and just ready to play, really.
Yes. So both have stand up their Vanguard.
We've got obviously Dranzed versus Colin. Ryziaka, optimal ride for Gear Chronicle, I'd say. I don't think there's a better ride target first aim.
Just because they can fetch that PG back into the hand.
Yeah, Arc is just ridiculously good. Chaos is considering going in, but I would highly recommend against it. I'm not sure what grade 1 he's just played, actually.
Same here.
I don't think I've seen that one before. Calls out 2 Stride Fighters, not 1 but 2.
And that's because of the grade Z, of the new Chrono Jet Z.
We knock over the mic. It doesn't matter, guys. You can leave it. The mic's not actually recording anything.
If only they can hear you. So with the new Chrono Jet skill, they will have a free strike. So literally the strike order at this point is literally just help accelerate any free strike skill.
Yeah. And that was a really quick play from. It's a really aggressive play from.
He's decided to turn it into a booster instead of calling it to the front row.
Which is probably for the best, to be honest. You can guarantee a hit here.
It was nice of the Gear player to the Chaos player to let his opponent have a take back on that.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I think he's pretty confident in just staying grade 1 there because he knows Chaos's grade 2 game is very weak. So he knows he's not going to get punished for it, and he can just kind of stay there until he's ready to go up. But
it seems Chaos
Luck is trying to prove me wrong here by going in himself. He calls the Stride Fighter and swings it back up. And the damage check of Gods potentially saves him from taking more damage than he needs to.
So the grade 2, the Chaos row is the new grade 2 of GB2. When it attacks, I believe you counterblast 1 and your opponent is forced to stop 1 card in hand. If he or she does not lock 1 card, you get to draw a card and then you'll find out your negate.
That usually gets taken, yeah. He's a very strong card. A lot of the time, I know like as a Gears player, I'll opt to just lock the card because it's better for them to not have cards in hand, and I can kind of just deal with their aggression.
So he chose to remove one of the rear guards instead of going back to the Vanguard.
You couldn't go to the Vanguard because there's a
trigger.
The power on the Vanguard. Yeah. So, I think they're having a bit of both players seem to be a bit stuck here. I think Luck's at the end of his turn, so I'm not sure what either player's waiting for, to be honest. I think they might be waiting on a ruling, but I can't see what ruling would come up at this point.
Same here.
I really wish we could hear what was going on.
So they decided to end the turn.
Yeah. Okay, so we just had a little pause of play for whatever reason. We're going to carry on with it. Right, gets the Dranzed skill off. He's probably going to grab a grade 1 to hand. Yeah, he gets the PG. Perfect.
Chaos ended the game with 5 cards in hand, it seems.
Yes.
So now,
I think the question was how does he have 5 cards in hand from a judge? Just because maybe that was it. I'm not sure. It's fine. I know. One of my rounds I was asked, how do you have 6 cards in hand? And then I was like, because I roared, then attacked and got a drive check, and then drew for my turn, and I'm in the middle of my turn. So the Gear Chronicle player there tries to sort of get rid of the W before it becomes a threat, because obviously it's GB2.
He also chooses to not rush. Either he doesn't want to pull down any additional units in risk of getting it locked.
Kind of ironic that a guy called Lock is playing Chaos, but
yeah. So he chose to activate his starter. Probably the good choice because he's most likely going to get. If he didn't, he's most likely going to get sent back with another strike skill.
Yeah. The thing is here is if he goes into Zinc, he doesn't get max value.
Yeah.
Zinc counter charges 2, assault charge 2. Then so he's kind of incentivized to use it suboptimally because if he doesn't, then he loses the Zinc next turn. Assumingly, he might just lose the W because that's also a priority unit.
It comes down to if your opponent wants to pull out a grade 3 or grade 2 in the time lead as well. But choose not to use it and use it as a booster. So that's still a 14. I was still hitting 14s, and that's still a magic number.
Chen is actually playing very defensively here. He really doesn't want to take more damage than he needs to. And his damage check 3 triggers in a row is still on damage. It's very impressive. And I think this is where the game's going to kind of spiral towards Chen's favor, just because he's got...
Link Joker do have 2 PGs in hand.
Yeah, but he can now make the plays to kind of go in. Yeah. I think he's considering whether to go into Split Pegasus or Avenir, just because Avenir leaves units on the board at the end of the turn which can be locked, which is pretty scary, but... If you're playing against Chaos, you kind of expect to not have a field, and Gear Next is still awkward for Chaos to deal with.
And unfortunately, Gear surprisingly do not have any actual unlockers to their name.
Heritage is, technically. You get an extra turn.
It's not it's not technically an unlocking skill. It's more of...
skill?
I don't think we can count Heritage into the unlocking category.
Yeah, it's taken a bit of a while to decide what to stride into.
So probably something, probably you guys in the viewer, leave in the comment section what you think. Should Heritage be counted as an unlocking unit or not?
Definitely going to split base. I think here we're going to see the WM get spun into a grade 3. A grade 3 on the Gear player side, and then the grade 3 broken into 2 cruisings possibly. Although he doesn't have this card blast to use 2 cruisings, he might just opt to spin the grade 1.
And get the 2 birds. And also forget the birds can clear the Drifters can clear the field. So
yes, the Transit Dragons. So let's see what he does. So he spins the grade 2, finds a Merry Block Dragon. Wow, okay. I've actually never thought of doing that before, to be honest. But then again, I'm not a Gear Chronicle player, so...
Which is still good, because that still allows him to clear the field in the end.
Yes, because he can bind that card by his own.
But...
He discards a card to add the Transit to hand, and then...
Even though we're saying he may clear the field, Chaos these days don't really matter about...
Yeah.
They can dispose you back, lock from the hand.
Force you to lock from hand. But, I mean, Chaos's first stride option is either Universe or Arsony, and they really like going into Arsony, because drawing 2 cards is pretty
really good. Yeah.
It's a very interesting cut coming from Block. I quite appreciate it. But we see Manish and Merry Block, so both of them are going to be bound at the end of that battle, most likely. I think he's okay with having his left-hand side column locked down. He just wants to keep one column available for attackers.
So he has managed to add 1 G Guardian to unhill trigger, so that secures 1 G Guardian to the hand.
Yeah, a lot of players do look for that double G Guard with the ZTBs to force Heritage second stride.
Yeah. So he chooses to take the damage, and hit into the draw tree.
I debate doing that, to be perfectly honest.
He do have PGs in hand, so he could potentially, and he assume he may have just gone into his hill trigger, so he could just PG the Vanguard and E-guard the
rear. But,
which would put him into a very good position into his stride.
True, but I think personally my issue with that play is the fact that Cruising is attacking for 11. This right hand side column is going to be huge. So Manish gains so both Manish and Merryblock gain plus 2k for each other ZTB, so both of them gain 6k. So that would be a 28k column base, so without triggers, which means that him checking a damage, a draw trigger on the damage, gave plus 5 to the Vanguard, basically irrelevant.
And Gears just wasn't able to get a trigger, which could be very good news for Chaos right now.
Yeah.
I think if he wants to guard or try to fight.
So he might G-guard here just so you can get GB2. I think he's considering whether to do it, because this is a big column, so it is worth G-guarding. Okay, so just going over the amount that each guard is worth. This is, sorry, I'm actually really bad at maths. This is actually a 23k column instead of a 28. But it's still G-guardable. So Locke is very thinking through what he can do here.
Going through Link Joker's, he could just use the new one from the Star Vader, which would force him to lock the back throw. That is more than enough.
Yes.
And it will also
the card would, yeah.
It will also suck the.
You can use any 15k guard here because it comes to it.
You choose to
take the damage.
Maybe he wants to save the guarding for Heritage then.
Possibly, but I debate that. Yeah, I guess if he's playing the long game, then keeping more cards in hand early is better, but also being more damage early is also a good thing. Chaos's GB2's first stride options are still pretty bad. He could possibly Deluge, but Deluge only takes him to 3 damage, which isn't that scary.
So he chooses to use Close for the discarding skill, so now his opponent is forced to call 1 card from his hand as locked.
Yes.
And I would think he will. That is the Deluge. Wait, the Deluge. That is.
That's Arsony.
Arsony. So he used the Strike skill to lock 1, use Close skill to lock another. So that leaves 1, which allows him to trigger the draw 2 card skill.
Yeah. So you can't lock the Manish. Has he forgotten to pay the cost for Christ?
Wait.
Discard?
I think he just did. it.
He's just done it now. That's pretty awkward because that's technically mistiming. Because Arsony's skill is an act and Close's skill is auto, so he should have done Close's.
No, he used the Strike skill first before he.
He Soul Blasted and drew 2 cards, which would be Arsony's skill.
He already drew the 2 cards.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure the first lock was from the Strike skill from Crisis.
No, because he drew 2 cards off of it, so it has to be Arsony. And he's got the face up universe already.
Oh yeah, the one on the right has the resist, that can't be locked.
Yeah. So he was forced to lock 2. But yeah, mistimings is a small problem here, to be honest. It doesn't actually matter that much.
It wasn't a play that would matter too much. So he's now forcing his opponent to lock even more from the hand.
Yeah, Bloodhound's a very expensive card, but it's worth it in this meta.
The only downside is also it being an 8k, meaning that it's not hitting anything. He's not being able to make any real decent rear guards at the moment, because the other one's only also hitting for 40. He can use the Zinc now.
Yeah, I think he will do, because he's going to need the Counterblast later on. I would advise against overcommitting here on the attacks, just because you're not actually going to get very far. And Chaos really needs the resources. But I'm also not a Link Joker player, so maybe I'm just an idiot. So Locke is wondering what to do, looking through all of his resources.
If he can hit us another heal trigger in his current drive check, it would put him in a very good position the next turn, even if his opponent somehow managed to get Heritage into play. He choose to go 7k on the rear for some reason, even though it doesn't hit.
Arsony gives plus 2k to 2 units as well.
Alright.
So he's buffed his 7k to 9, and his new left arm is 10k base. Well, not 10k base, but 10k power. Chen chooses to guard his Manish, which is interesting. He must have plans for it next turn. Locke is wondering what to attack here, but I'm thinking he's just gonna have to swing base. Yeah?
He's not gonna win if he keeps too passive.
Yeah. Chaos needs to put some kind of pressure out.
He choose the PG.
The attack gets PG'd. Draw trigger. That is a different draw trigger to the Starvader draw trigger that most people... Which implies that he's running more than 4 draw triggers. Which I'm unsure of. This deck's one of this deck's biggest weaknesses is decking out.
You choose to guard with the Chrono Drench. Is that interesting?
Yeah, I mean that's not uncommon. Your starter loses its use after the first use. Ironically,
people do have the tend to want to use it with the Heritage as a combo.
Yeah, true. But it's also kind of like, because I know I do it with my starter a lot. Just because the most value you get out of your starter is the first time you use it, and after that you kind of just lose out.
You choose to go into...
No, he takes it back. We're going to Gear next, because you actually can't use Abney Phoenix to any kind of capacity here.
Again, the opponent is nice enough to let opponents did have the take back with it.
To be fair, he didn't actually place the card down, so I'd say it is a massive problem. One thing I would say is that Chen is still on 2 damage, but he does have only 2 cards in hand.
Yeah.
Which is,
could be potentially lethal for Gearnex, who has to return 3 cards back into the deck.
Exactly.
But he could choose to return the 2 cards, return once
one from the board and 2 cards. But even then, that's a bit of a loss because he loses out on his attack turn.
The PG can now trigger on draw skill because the opponent has 3 locks.
Yeah.
So his hand is not decreasing, and he does get the heal trigger. So
ooh, interesting.
Yeah. So Gears do have 3 heals, 2 heals in hand now, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So the 3 cards he's returning, so that means he's holding 2 cards with both of them being heal triggers. So we're most likely definitely seeing the Heritage turn after this one.
Yeah. And also we've got just something I like to note is that his drive check revealed the vanilla 10k Serpent, which means that he's probably running more than just 4 10ks. Which implies that he's a very defensive player.
Yeah, if you just also notice that the Chaos also run a 3rd different draw trigger.
Yeah, draw trigger heavy build, possibly. He might just be running different vanillas to throw people off.
Opponent choose to opt to attack the rear guard.
Yeah. Now Locke gets to choose what to retire, and he retires the cruising in the back row.
Choosing not to give your opponent the front row.
Yeah.
Right now, the hand of the Gear Chrono isn't the most optimal, so even if he goes into Heritage, he will only be able to attack with the Vanguard first.
Yeah.
Relying, so even if you're going into Heritage, it may not be powerful to have the most optimal play for him to finish the game, and may just end up becoming a normal re-standard turn.
At this point, Deluge might actually just win the game.
Yeah. Well, maybe not win, but still...
I mean, if he... So Deluge is gonna force. So yeah, Deluge is gonna force 2 cards from hand.
Yeah.
So for putting Chen down to 3 cards in hand. Oh no, sorry, he did bounce a PG back to his handmaster though. So triple crit from the Vanguard isn't gonna win.
But probably the best option for him right now. So he's forcing 3 cards now actually because of the skill.
He was unable to use Claws to force him to discard another card. Which
I think it's
-4 from hand. Chen chooses to lock the PG. He's a bold man.
I think his best option is pretty much trying to force the opponent to use up all of his G guards. So he chooses to use the close skill.
No, he's using delusion skill here. So he's
Alright.
locked to thing. I think he forgot to turn a card face up with his G's on. So I don't see any movement there. Jen's just thinking about what he's doing. He's going to have to retire one of his front rows. Because Deluge wasn't a lock-up team. But I think he can live with that.
And then one will be sent into the G zone.
So Chen had 2 PGs in hand.
Yeah.
Decided to lock both of them. I guess he only has 1 card left in hand right now.
So now he's been put to 3 damage because of Deluge.
Yeah, the burn damage from Deluge.
So he's forced to use.
Forcing yet another card from hand.
Now we've managed to see the optimal scariness of what makes Chaos the anti-meta deck it is.
Yeah.
Blocking and then the Nubatama style discarding effect.
So going to Zinc Soul Charge to get your CB back.
And no trigger, so he's also helping.
Good. It's actually looking good for Chaos here. He's in a decent position to win this, just because
He's now managed to get rid of the resist unit by forcing the opponent to call from drop zone.
Yeah.
So he managed to get the famous full field block on what Chaos is renowned for these days.
This is actually very winnable for Chaos right now.
Yeah.
Considering I was trash talking this deck at the beginning of this matchup.
Yeah. I think you earned the Chaos an apology in the video section.
Possibly. Let's see how the game works out.
Yeah.
So, swing Vanguard to face, you need Lock basically, okay, he's remembering to turn a card face.
Yeah. Also, the other rear guard gains 6k because of the skill, so it is technically hitting.
He checks a critical trigger, but he gives it all to the globule?
Interesting. I
That's
guess he wants
very interesting. I think he
wants to pressurize the loss.
Oh.
Without even have made too much of. I don't think that would have made too much of a difference because the opponent would either have to use that last card either way. So
yeah, I'd have definitely given the crit to my Vanguard.
Either that.
I think he was okay. I think Lockyer knew that Chen had 1 heal in hand, and as such, he knew that any attack he throws at him would get guarded.
So he's probably trying to limit the amount of counterblast coming his way, even if he's going into Heritage.
Exactly. But at the same time, had he given the crit to his Vanguard and the power team he leapt on, he would then have his opponent on 5 damage with 1 card in hand with 2 attacks coming towards him. Which,
if he can
could
survive,
have won the game.
If he can survive this turn, there's a very good chance Link Joker can end the game there, and then if they can go into the ZR.
Yeah.
With stuff, because that's mostly their win con at these days. Which is the styles pretty much lock and try to prolong the game to the point where Stark can finish you.
Yeah.
The game.
Yeah, I think that trigger assignment actually might have just lost it the game, because we can get into Heritage now, and Heritage just tears through hands like nothing else with the cards. Like, I mean, having 2 turns is totally fair and balanced.
But do know that Gears can't really do too much of an optimal play right now, so it could potentially just be almost like a normal standing turn.
He's got a fully locked field, which means that he's basically just going to swing Vanguard and pass. But he does get another turn to do things in. And Locke will be basically forced to guard this if he doesn't want to get critted and die.
Don't forget, Chaos can retire one of the rearguard units, so he will probably want to retire the unit on the right-hand side of the gear player on the front row.
So G-Guard comes out, possibly Destiny Guardian, yes.
Yep, so he wants to...
Gonna get the early draw, he's gonna unlock 2 and kill 1.
Yep. So he's looking through... He's choosing...
Then he uses his, to kill the Metal Party Dragon, which is pretty good, gets an extra draw, pretty nice.
So that puts him on 36, that'll be a 2 to pass at the moment.
Yeah.
Then he's using the heal trigger skill. See if he's soul charging or counter charge. He's choosing to counter charge. So he also secure the cost for
Stark next turn.
Yeah. It's only down to if he has the crisis in hand.
Single intercept would be 3 to pass, double.
Yeah.
No pass. So I think he's considering, but I would honestly go for the 3 to pass here.
You know that they.
Just checking triggers right now, trying to make sure. There's a lot of triggers in the damage zone. 5 U in drop. I think he returned a heal to the bottom of his deck.
And we have a hill on the field, so.
Yeah, I'd say 3 to pass here is pretty safe. Obviously, regardless of what you got as. There's a little judging really going on here. But yeah, being on. So being a 3 to pass here, I'd say is very safe. But you know, each player sees things a bit different.
So he's going for the 3 to pass.
Yeah.
First check unicorn, second check sheep. That's a really good good news for them.
Oh yeah, that's a good drive check. I'd like to see that on my turn.
Yeah.
Flips down the 4 face of GG.
Unfortunately,
the second turn.
can use skill too. He's most likely gonna send back.
He's gonna send back one of the intercepts. Even if it doesn't get you a good unit, getting shield off the board is important, especially with such a big hand. I think Chad's gonna want to close it out here before he can get stalked.
He could call the grade 1 and call back the 10k grade 2 and use that to call back another column to increase the attack.
Yeah.
Four more attacks coming in. So it's coming down to if he wants to limit down his opponent's defense or try to push for more.
He does have
attacks.
he does have a sheep, tiger, and Pegasus in hand, so he's very much got the means to make multi attacks.
So at the very least, he should be able to make at least 5 attacks.
Yeah.
If he calls the 10k.
He doesn't even need the 10k. He has the Pegasus and sheep in hand.
He is going for the option to call great. Yep, he is going for the 10k. So he is going.
Thank you. Yeah,
I have foresight.
Oh.
Do you know?
Sidrog?
You still calling a grade 2?
He's calling a grade 2. So I was wrong on the call.
Yeah, he's going for the 10k. I can see the
10k. Sid wins. Sid wins these, it's fine. Just checking the bind zone there.
It's mostly because if I were in a gear situation, it is what I would have done.
Yeah, you get a lot more attacks that way. And you can just...
At this point, I think I would probably want to end the game and try not to prolong because I know Stark will come most likely next turn.
Yeah, and I wouldn't use the tiger at all. Sorry, cruising dragon. I'd basically just go into Pegasus and spam that. Because Pegasus. So I think off of that you can get 1, 2, 3, 4 attack, 5 attacks. Yeah. I think you did mention that before. So that was being a bit brain dead here. But
your player will have 7 cards left in hand.
He likes not to call the Pegasus. Which is interesting, I guess. I think he's
attacking the rear guard. Interesting.
Yeah, I feel like this is very passive play for what should be the final turn for the year's player.
Opting to remove an intercept.
Opting to remove an interceptor instead of trying to deal damage, which is interesting, I guess. And I think the Metal Party Dragon goes off regardless. It just needs to attack and be boosted.
Yeah.
Or he might just be looking to restand it with the sheep. But again, I feel like that's a bit awkward.
The 2 units, the 2 grade 2s the Link Joker player has out doesn't actually have any more effects, as they're both on co-effects.
Yeah, I think all of Link Joker's big grade 2s are on cards except for WM.
Yeah.
But I do want to know what's going on here. Got a lot of thinking between both players. I think this is potentially final turn for either of.
I think he's looking at the. He may be looking.
He's considering going into Lacus Karina. Oh no, he can't use Lacus Karina because he has no unit. Oh no, wait.
He has a front row unit, but that will limit the amount of attacks he has. But he is going for Lacus Karina.
Yeah.
So he does.
So he can't last one. Flip one. Piss up.
Interesting. That would neutralize his cost for the Zeref Dragon, so...
I think the discussion there was how does Lacus Karina work when I'm locking the unit that is attacking? That is being attacked, sorry.
So his opponent chooses to actually lock the sheep and then go for the draw.
Yeah, it's a very passive play. Which, I mean, I would have just locked the transit and taken the hit because the sheep's a bit more important in securing the win. But maybe with 8 cards in hand, with 8 cards in lock's hand, he feel like he can't do it, which is understandable, to be honest.
His opponent chooses to take the attack. It's very risky. Can he get he got the critical, and that might just be game there.
Yeah,
and that's game. Opponent.
Yeah, Chen and his teammates share a bit of a celebration there. I think that was a very awkward move to choose not to guard that at all. But
I probably would have saved the G guard for the heritage.
Yeah.
Going into Lacus Karina, because even if you restand, and probably going to Lacus Karina in that timing was probably the wrong play, I think.
Yeah, I think that was possibly a misplay, but at the same time, he probably had he probably had more idea of what he was doing than we do looking in. But yeah, that was the end of round 8.
Yeah.
Round 8? That was the end of the first game of top 8. So quarterfinal, and I think as you saw from the team on the right celebration, they did go through the semi-finals. They faced a certain someone who might be commentating this game right now.
I wonder who that may be.
But yeah, I think we'll catch you in semis and see me for once.
Excitement! How our viewers must not be able to contain us.
Thanks for watching this quarterfinals, and we'll catch you in the semis.
This has been DGP's Vanguard.
Yeah.
Probably gonna get this name right one of these days.
One day you will actually say that it's DG Vanguard.
Yeah.
So thank you for tuning in.
Yeah. Good day and good night.